Hello.
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 Hey, girl. Hey.
We're on. Are we on?
We're on.
We're on.
I'm not putting that in, though.
Why? You know what? I'll probably be editing this, so.
Oh, you're right.
Or maybe not, because of our weird schedule that we mixed up.
I'm Tamara.
I'm Mildred.
And this is Fearful Friends Podcast. Happy Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, everyone. Can you hear Tamara's runny nose?
It's not a runny nose. I'm hoarse. I have laryngitis.
Don't talk about horses like that. Shit, horse.
I was
very
so
stuffy.
sick. You think I sound stuffy? Like in my nose? Because I'm not.
You're very nasally.
Like I'm not.
I will be sniffling more than you, though.
Yeah.
I can already feel it coming because you've had me laughing already. And I'm like,
I'm so funny. No, I don't feel as nearly as congested as I was. Now it's just in my voice and it's annoying me.
TT got sick last week.
Mm-hmm. I was really sick. I even went to the doctor. That's how sick I was.
I know, not a telehealth doctor either. A real in-person live one.
Yeah.
To get meds.
Mm-hmm.
Shooketh.
Yeah.
Let's all clap for her being a grown-up. I don't hear any clapping.
No. How was your week? How's your job?
It's good. It's pretty good. I hate saying that now because, like, I went from being like, fucking sucks, don't talk to me about my job, I hate it every day, to now I'm just like, you know, this is pretty cool.
I mean, that's the goal.
It is the goal. I just feel like bad now. Like every day I feel guilty that I'm just like, I'm not doing enough to like earn my pay. I'm an overachiever to a fault. Mm-hmm. Like people take advantage of it now and they're just like, oh, she'll do it. She does everything. But like, I can't just fucking stand around. And like, here's my thing. Today was like one of the slowest days that I've had. And like out of my 8-hour shift, I think maybe 2 hours of that was actually doing receiving stuff.
Wow.
Like the rest of it, I was just like sweeping the floor, cleaning, moving shit around because like every fucking department is just like, they're pigs and they take a cart into the back room and they just leave it in the middle of the floor with fucking trash all over it. And I'm just like, okay, I guess the fairy will come clean it up for you. It's me. I'm the fairy. And just like, I'm helping like, you know, the bulk manager. Literally, I spent like 2 hours today folding boxes just because I was like, I have to be near the back door to hear like if any vendors are there. So I'm just like standing there folding cardboard. I got a whole bunch of cardboard cuts on my arm.
I think that
I don't know what my predecessor fucking did all day because he did not do any of this. He never swept. He never did anything. He never left his desk.
I think that you should start writing your stories at work. So that's what I do.
Oh no, I can't do that.
Why?
Because I want to be a good example for my team members.
They don't have to know what you're doing. On the top of my thing, it said, teller over short variance report. I like made it.
And when
like,
people walk by, they don't see what you're typing.
No, as my title. So I put that in like 16-point font. And then in like 4-point font, I was writing the actual story. And then I make it like also like light gray.
Okay, so it makes it even harder to read.
And then if I have to like read it, I'll just highlight it.
How do you do the research though?
Oh, I just have it on my screen. I just flip back between my like Word document and
I can't do that. I really need to sit down and focus because like I just really like I am so scared of being sued for like plagiarism and shit like that. Oh. So I will just like sit there and I will like read a sentence and I'll think, how can I reword every single thing in this sentence? Or like, yeah, I don't know. I that's not like a work. That is like me at home alone with the dogs, like taking a nap with a cup of coffee in my hand. I'm just like putting on my glasses, my readers. I don't wear readers, but I really need to focus when I research. I take pride. I take so much pride.
You need to find something else to do at work.
I find a lot of shit to do. My thing is
not
like
for work, for yourself.
Why? I'm not there for myself. I'm there to work. And if everyone acted like me in a job, every company would be successful.
maybe if companies paid their workers appropriately, they too would be successful.
You know what? That's fair. Although there are people that work at my job that literally make like twice as much as I do, that do a fucking fraction of what I do. And they spend most of their days just sitting up in the office eating smelly microwaved eggs. That's what I walked into today.
Microwave eggs.
This bitch fucking clocks in. Like, she clocks in. She goes to the dairy department to grab her some eggs. Some raw eggs. Then goes into the break room, cooks them. And then just, like, sits down in front of the computer just eating her breakfast. I'm like, nothing's on the computer screen, by the way. She just went in there. She just got paid to make herself her own breakfast. For free. She didn't pay for the eggs. Yeah. She does it all the fucking time. But she's like besties with my fucking store manager. And she fucking like, she'll like leave the store to go like drop her kid off at work and or to go drop her kid off at school and shit. And she'll be gone for like 2 hours on the clock. And like my store manager thinks she is the fucking golden goose and like can't do any wrong. And she's been reported so many times for time theft. And it's like, no, that's not right.
I'm all for like fair time theft, like eating on the clock, making my breakfast. I do that every day
all the time. But like, no, this is like when you're sitting there for like an hour on the clock and it's like a double truck day and all of your associates are in the back fucking breaking down this big ass truck and you're fucking in here. You just got to work and you haven't even checked in with them. That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah. And taking shit off the shelf.
She does it all the time. She'll literally go behind the deli counter like while they're helping customers and just make herself a fucking sandwich. She'll just put on some gloves and reach in the turkey and all this other shit and just make herself a fucking sandwich. And then she'll just take it up in the office and eat it right in front of the store manager. I was hungry.
Okay.
And then, like, I've talked to, like, the manager about it before, and I'm just like, you know this is happening. Like, she's literally, not only is she, like, stealing time from you, and, like, we're all working our asses off, and we're so short on labor, but, like, she is actively stealing time right in front of your eyes, but she's also stealing products right off the floor and eating it in front of your eyes. And she goes, well, you know, we want you guys to try things throughout the store. So, like, if you want to sample something, please just take it off the shelf and try it. And I'm like, oh, so that's what this is. This is her sampling all the eggs every morning. Or like, what? Like, and that bitch, I want to try
that's not
a glass of wine every day at work. You gonna stop me?
That is not how it works. You don't just take shit off the shelf. I don't even work for your company, and I know that that's not how it works.
They have fired people for like walking out to their car and like forgetting to punch out. They have fired people for that.
Oh my God.
And she like leaves for 2 hours. And comes back with Starbucks and like, oh, okay.
I forget to punch out all week long.
She tells people all the time, like the fucking girl that took over for me. She told her, you'll be golden as long as you align yourself with the right people. So it explains why she's still in the job she is, because she's like, she's really bad. She's really, really, really bad.
Wow.
Anyways, how was your week? Wow.
She's playing the game, okay? And she's winning.
It's really aggravating because, like, everyone in the store keeps coming up to me telling me, like, have you been over there? Like, what's going on? Like, we're scared. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this. I told you last week, like, I'm not going over there. This is her fucking show. I can't mentally just, like, do this anymore. I'm done meddling. I'm not the meddlesome mom anymore. She had her fucking chance to get mom's lessons of wisdom. No. And now, like, we've got this, like, manager training at our store, and she's coming up to me like, I feel so bad for her. She has no help over there, and she's just so overwhelmed, and I think that she just has such big shoes to fill, and she feels like everyone's turned her back on her. And
you're like, my shoes?
Hold on now. I got 10 hours a week worth of 10 hours a week worth of help, which is not even enough to cover my 2 days off. That's not even a full shift for my part-timers, which means if I wanted coverage on my days off, I would have no help for the fucking 5 trucks I get for the rest of the week. So I did all those by myself. She has help on her days off, full shifts, And then she has a person coming in at 5 a.m. before she comes in to start working the truck for her. And then she has more help on the rest of the truck days. Like, I don't even want to fucking talk to anybody who tries to say that she doesn't have any fucking help. Because I don't know where these hours are coming from, but they certainly weren't there when I was doing the job.
So how many hours is her department getting?
She's probably clocking around like 70 to 75 hours right now. And that's not including her overtime.
And you got 50.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but, like, she feels fucking bad for her. And then, like, I won't get into it. I just get so fucking worked up. It's, like, really aggravating because this was my baby, man. Now it's in somebody else's hands. It's just, like, ruining it.
Now you get to go in the back.
Yeah, I'm staying in my lane. They keep telling me to stay in my lane. That's what I'm doing.
Your, what does my mother-in-law call it?
I like
the country
to call
club.
it the Cavern of Chaos. Or my hidey hole.
I call it the Cavern of Chaos. Nobody is calling it that, though. I can't catch on. Everyone's like, no, Rell.
I have been called the queen. Yeah, that's right. This is my domain.
Okay. Just, you need to learn to enjoy yourself.
Oh, I am. I actually have a new line on my face from smiling so much.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's like kind of a big deal. Although I cannot afford wrinkle cream right now, so I am taking that out of the donation bin.
We have to sample it.
Listen, we give them a lot of stuff. They're not going to miss one wrinkle cream.
Yeah. God.
Exactly. I have to sample it, and it's expired anyway, so it's not like I'm fucking taking good product off the shelf.
Yeah.
It's not working, by the way.
Have you tried or heard of frownies?
Are they brownies?
No.
Then no.
They're like sticky like patches that you sleep on. There's like forehead ones, under eye ones.
I already wouldn't like that.
On.
I don't want to sleep on them. They're masks.
Kind of, but or you can get like small ones. Anyway, they're very expensive, but they work very well. So I've been like looking at everyone's dupes, and one of them is scar tape. Another one is like cheap KT tape, so like it doesn't stick as well. I don't
think you should put that on your face.
But also, like you're gonna do your skincare, put some oil on, and then put the KT tape on. But like the results everyone has from frownies is like amazing. Everyone loves it. Like
I've never heard of it. I mean, I'm not there yet to be sticking tape to my face.
Oh, I am.
Are you doing it? Are you putting KT tape on your face?
No.
That doesn't seem awesome. That doesn't seem great. It seems like it would really rip your flesh off.
That's why you gotta get the cheap stuff.
But then it won't stick.
And then
put oil on your face.
It'll stick. It just won't, become your skin.
That all sounds really awful. Like if my face is like, if I put on just like a hint of too much moisturizer on at night and my face is just like sticking to the pillow just a little bit, I will go wash that shit off.
Well,
I can't handle the sticky feeling.
That's your little...
It's my quirk.
Your little tism.
My little chaos quirk.
No. It's like your little... I think we're all a little autistic.
That's fine. Is that fine? Is that cool? Am I being controversial? What's going on? I couldn't decide what genre of story I should tell today because I went missing person, then like murder, then missing person again, maybe. It's all been very dark and sad. So then I was like, maybe I'll do a cryptid. And then I was like, no, cryptids are fucking lame. As I'm wearing a Mothman shirt. So I landed on a mysterious blob.
A mysterious blob? Oh my god, I love it. I'm so excited.
So, what's that you say, Rell? Mysterious blobs? Oh yes, Tamara. Blobs. Specifically, the Oakville, Washington blobs of 1994.
Oh. My case is in the 90s too.
Is it the blobs? Did we do the same case?
No.
Wouldn't that be wild if we were both just like, we did blobs?
It's yours in Washington?
Yes.
Mine's in Washington.
Oh my.
It's a missing person.
1994?
Yes, some of it was in 1994.
I wonder if the blobs had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
All right. It's August 7th, 1994. Oakville, Washington. It's a totally chill Sunday afternoon. Maybe. The stories are very conflicting about what time this happened.
The stories are very conflicting on the amount of chill.
What the documentary that I saw, all this happened in the daylight, and then there's one story where it happened at 3 a.m., and I was very confused.
Isn't it always like that? Like, why?
Can we get it together, please? Okay, so if it is the afternoon, then kids are playing outside. Little old ladies are watering their gardens. The expected Pacific Northwest storm clouds begin moving in to give the ground a nice soak in. Gross. I know. You know what? Whenever I say the word soaking now, I think of like Mormon soaking. And it like, now I can't say that word anymore. So basically what I'm saying is we're running out of ways to say that things are damp.
Okay.
Because I can't say moist anymore. I can't say soaking. Wet even has a sexual connotation now, and even damp, it's like, I don't love it.
Damp reminds me of like a damp, dingy washcloth that when you're like doing laundry, you're like, how long has that been in my laundry basket?
I can't tell Matt, you know, you make me wet anymore, but I also can't say, I'm so damp. Like, no, that's just, I'm soaked. No, that just like insinuates that I pissed myself. All right. We'll come up with something. We'll shop it. So anyways, it rains. A heavy rain, which is pretty typical for that area. It covers about a 20 square mile radius in tiny little drops the size of a grain of rice, but there's something different about this rainfall. It seemed thicker than water. Some said almost like hail, but soft. Ooh, it's like those little Orbeez.
Oh, yeah.
One resident who witnessed the strange happening is Sunny Barcliffe, who lived in the area just for a few years. She would actually go on to spend much of her adult life researching the blobs after this. A true hero. Her and her mom, Dottie, had been outside watching the storm roll in when the downpour began, and it coated every inch of their 29-acre farm in this gelatinous goo.
Just imagine you're sitting out on your front porch of your 20-acre farm. You're like on the porch swing. You're in the Pacific Northwest, so it's like
amazing,
like perfect weather. A storm's rolling in. You sit there on your porch swing. There's no mosquitoes. And
how do you know this? There's no mosquitoes.
It's in my head, so I'm picturing this.
Oh, yeah. Word. Sasquatch is just right over the hill.
He's gardening over there, so it's fine. And then you just watch a storm roll in and you sit and like take a little nap on your swing.
You know you can do that here, right?
I know, but I don't have a 20-acre farm. I just have like
a
very small backyard. I have fallen asleep though. Like when it rains, I go sit out on my patio, take a little nap.
I know. That's how you burnt your French fries that one day. It's a problem. You should get that looked into. Was that thunder?
I hope so. Nah, probably just some people.
Douchebag listening to his music too loud. I'm just gonna say it. That's not enjoyable for your eardrums. Your ears are screaming. Why do you like that? Stop it.
No.
Can he hear me? I hope so. All right. They were both stunned at the gelatinous goo. Her and her brother fancied themselves to be scientifically inclined. They both had jobs in like some sciencey industry I did not write down.
Oh, I was still picturing them as kids. And
I also was, but no, like they're grown-ups.
Okay.
I think they're like not young adults. They're probably like in their 20s or 30s at this point, but they live with their mom on a farm. They both have jobs in like, sciencey industries, whatever.
Sure.
Probably should have written it down. And they decided to collect some samples to do a little DIY home testing. So she took notes of everything that happened, like times, what the samples were, how much they took, and all that stuff. That afternoon, she donned a pair of latex gloves. We stand for PPE.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Is that what the kids say?
Yeah.
We stand? Like Stanley?
Yeah.
Why do they say that?
Because of Eminem's song Stan. Stan's like a huge fan, and that's where it comes from.
Why do we say we stan?
We, like, it's just...
It means we like that?
Yeah.
That's dumb.
You could say, like, or like, I'm a PPE stan, or like I stand that. I stand for that.
Okay.
My tears don't fall. I'm wondering why I.
That's from that song?
Bed at all. Dido's in that song.
I know. I was going to say Dottie.
That's from your story.
Yes. Wow. I'm so surprised you remembered that.
I had an Aunt Dottie.
That's adorable. Little old lady.
She's not with us anymore.
Oh,
but
well, older ladies. So yeah, she got on some PPE. She stand it.
No, it's not.
Listen, guys, I'm trying to be hip. And she carefully scooped up some of the goop into a clear, sealable container. A fucking Tupperware.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I typed a clear, sealable container.
I was picturing a Ziploc bag.
It's a plastic fucking tub.
Okay.
It's probably a Chinese takeout soup thing. And then she took it inside and she started playing with it, which is what I would do. Slime. So first they tried mixing it into water just to see what would happen, and it just floated. Then they tried to burn it, and it would not catch fire. Then they tried to dissolve it in rubbing alcohol. Swing and a miss. So now they started thinking, shit, this stuff is like all over the crops. The fuck is it? Is it even safe? Are the animals going to get sick? Are people going to get sick? Like, who the fuck knows?
They should eat it and find out.
It's for science.
Yeah.
So the next day, Sunny called the Department of Agriculture to ask if they'd heard anything about this phenomena. And they basically told her that weird shit happens sometimes and not to worry about it. Weather, am I right?
It's definitely not aliens, though.
Don't worry about it, you silly woman. No big deal. Sunny also called up the Department of Ecology and the Weather Service, and they too were pretty useless. The next phone call she made was actually to Oakville's congressional spokesperson, who at first thought she was pranking him. But she wasn't the only one to call in about the blobs. Even so, he really didn't have any useful information for them and told them, like, yeah, I'll have people look into it, but, like, nobody's dying, nobody's sick. Like, unless it's a life-threatening situation, there's not much I can do about it for, like, alleged blobs, you know? So, but speaking of not being the only person to call it in, here is another really interesting piece of eyewitness testimony about what this particular person saw when the blobs fell from the sky. And this was the one that happened at like 3 a.m. So I was like, this happened multiple times. Like,
like multiple different like days, or was like the storm moving?
It was multiple days.
Okay.
So he said, David Lacey, he was a local police officer, and him and a civilian friend of his were driving his patrol car when the storm came through, which I'm just like, you know, they were out drinking.
Oh, I was thinking they were doing other things.
Oh, like what?
Like him and his friend in his police car, they're just driving around.
I mean,
doing
like,
gay stuff.
You think?
I hope.
I just pictured them being like, hey, let's go drinking. Okay, we'll take my car. We won't get pulled over. That's what I pictured.
Are they in Wisconsin?
Maybe. That's my go-to accent.
Okay.
Suck it. I don't know what a California accent is. Or Washington.
Suck it, Marshall.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, they're driving around, maybe doing gay stuff. We don't know. We're gonna get fired.
Who's gonna fire us? Me?
The government.
Oh.
He said, this is a quote from David. We turned our windshield wipers on and it just started smearing to the point where we could almost not see. And we both looked at each other and we said, jeez, this isn't right. I mean, we're out in the middle of nowhere, basically. And where did this come from? Officer Lacey then pulled into a gas station to degoop his windshield. And as an added precaution, he got on some PPE.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Very responsible.
Everybody's being real great. He said, quote, the substance was very mushy. It's almost like if you had Jell-O in your hand and you could pretty much squish it through your fingers. We did have some bells go off in our heads that basically said that this isn't right. This isn't normal. It's like, Good job. Good job. Listen to those bills. The next day, I know. Well, it's mushy. The next day, things got stranger. Sunny came home from running errands to find her mom, Dottie, collapsed on the bathroom floor, nearly unconscious. After she called 911, she was able to get her talking just enough to go over some of her symptoms. Her mother was pale, had cold sweats. She was dizzy, nauseous, severe vertigo. She had blurred vision. And Sunny remembers that Dottie was the only one of them to touch the blob with her bare hands.
I was so afraid you were going to be like, well,
she ate it.
Dottie found it in the
she
the
wanted to see if it was
refrigerator.
poison on the crabs.
She didn't know what it was. She thought it was the gray stuff
thought
from
it was
Beast and
pectin.
Beauty. Beast and Beauty?
The gray stuff from Beauty and the Beast? What's that?
Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
Try the gray stuff. I don't remember that.
That's from Beauty and the Beast, right?
I don't know. Is this a song when it's like Be Our Guest? They say try the gray stuff?
Yeah.
You know they're talking about cum. Sorry. You know that's what they're talking about. So
Lighting's really giving me like a complex.
Sexy, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to change it?
No, I
Is
like
it too sexy?
Is that
Am I in danger?
My legs are wide open.
That's okay. I wasn't looking.
I have pants, shorts on.
I also have shorts on, but they're coming up to my belly button. So.
I don't think those are considered shorts.
It's just because I'm sitting on this chair and they're kind of like wedged up in me.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you. I have a weird body and a wide set vagina. I don't know what to tell you. All right. So Dottie touched it with her bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
She is ill. So, being the scientific little kitten that she is, Sunny ran outside to collect another jar of blob samples to send with her mom to the hospital. She's so smart. Her mom lived, thankfully, but she ended up having to be hospitalized for 4 days. And her diagnosis was that, this is what the doctors said, she had contracted some kind of virus, perhaps an ear infection, but she never really got any more information beyond that.
Bullshit. Nope. I need to see the lab work.
I should have looked it up. I actually put it in my notes. Asterisk, look up the science reports or whatever. The science reports? Yeah.
Look up science.
But, I don't know. I was high and I just didn't feel like doing it.
Yeah, valid.
I wouldn't have been able to read them anyways. So, unfortunately, Dottie wasn't the only one to come down with an illness. Resident Beverly Roberts claimed, quote, everyone in the whole town came down with, like, a flu, only it was a really hard flu. It didn't last, 7 days. It lasted 7 weeks, 2 or 3 months, unquote. I like her.
Haulers.
I like her because she's just she talks like me. Like.
Yeah.
Another local, Maurice Gobel, told reporters, quote, I got sick, my wife got sick, my daughter, everybody that lived here got sick, unquote. Even poor Officer Lacey, who wore latex gloves before handling the substance, suddenly became ill. He said...
After he licked it.
Maybe. Gay stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe.
exactly.
Astroglide. Whoop, whoop. He said, quote, I was to the point where I could hardly breathe. I started to put it together that possibly whatever the substance was, it made me violently sick like I had never been before, to the point where it just totally shut me down, unquote. And it wasn't just people that got sick either.
Oh.
I know. There were a lot of reports of cattle deaths and livestock around that time, and also people's pets. And Sunny's kitten was one of the casualties.
No.
Yeah, they walked outside one day and they found the kitten dead in the yard.
Oh my god.
Because they ate some shit off the ground. So, whatever weird shenanigans was going on, Sunny wanted to get to the bottom of it because she definitely had her suspicions about the blobs. So now that the hospital had her samples, Dr. David Little began examining them. He put a gloop in a microscope slide and took a peek. And
a gloop.
A gloop. I was trying to find other words for blob.
Okay.
Gloop.
I like it.
Glob. Blob. Slime. He put a gloop in the microscope slide and took a peek. And although they didn't have the technology available to them to really find out what the composition or origin of the goop was, he was able to see human cells in the goo. White blood cells, to be precise.
Oh my God.
I know. After his interest was piqued, the sample was then sent to the Washington Department of Health and then the Department of Ecology to be professionally tested. The report from the Department of Ecology came back as containing cells from a living thing, but that it wasn't necessarily human white blood cells. So this leads us to our first possible explanation. We've got a couple of what it could be. What could possibly be gelatinous, but also have living cells?
Algae.
Perhaps a jellyfish.
No. In my mind, like, there's like a whole bunch of like dead fish and like they precipitated with the water and then it fell.
You're not far off, actually, from their theory. Around this time, in a coastal town not far from Oakville, a tourist was walking the beaches and came across hundreds of dead crabs scattered along the beach. But along with the crabs, there were these little bits of jelly. The tourist had thought maybe this might have something to do with the military testing that was going on over the ocean nearby. They had said that they remembered hearing what they described as bombs going off in the days leading up to this.
How scary.
I know, but it happens all the time. And it is possible that if they were setting off bombs underwater, it could have blown a considerable amount of sea life right into the air, only to then rain it back down inland. It seems unlikely, but historically, water spouts that form over the ocean and travel onto land have been documented to sometimes carry fish up to 80 miles inland, and Oakville is only 40 miles off the coast. So if that's possible, then who knows, how far this could have traveled. I mean, hell, if there was like a water spout, it could have picked that shit up and brought it in,
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Back in Oakville, the mystery just keeps deepening. I hope that's a word. The local news picks up the Blob story and heads over to Sonny's farm to interview the family. And luckily for them, a quick rain shower blew through and they got to witness firsthand these balls.
So it just kept happening.
Yes.
Like every time it rained?
In fact, it happened 6 times over a 3-week period.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it wasn't just a one-off. So this makes it a little hard to imagine that this is just some freak water spout jellyfish explosion action, Things then get a bit stranger when the lab reports get in from the State Department of Public Health. The testing was conducted by microbiologist Mike McDowell and were the most significant findings by far in the case. He had been working with them for like fucking 40 years. Like, he's like the deal, He describes the substance as being very uniform and said, quote, "There was no structure that we could see visibly or with a microscope. I set it up on various microbiological media and attempted to isolate bacteria. When cultured, he was then able to identify 2 different kinds of bacteria. I'm doing my best. Please, no. Pseudomonas fluorescens and Enterobacter cloacae."
Okay.
It's so great. Both of these can be commonly found in the digestive tracts of humans and other mammals. They can also be found environmentally when waste has been deposited, and then, it can travel in water and aerosols. So perhaps this brings us to our next theory: poo-poo falling from the sky.
Oh.
Potentially from an aircraft, but this seems even more unlikely than jellyfish falling from the sky. After this, possible theory was discussed, the FAA was called and they were asked about, their waste dumping and how that worked and stuff like that. And they replied that it wasn't really possible for that to happen since they typically don't dump their waste over populated areas anymore. And even if they did, even if someone had made a mistake and dumped that load, it's pretty easy. No one laughs.
thought it was funny.
I know none of you out there laughed at my joke. Dump their load. It's pretty easy to identify aircraft waste from regular poo-poo because it's dyed blue from the chemicals in the toilets. It's actually called blue ice. So, yeah.
I think I had a blue ice popsicle, okay?
Oh, so sad for you. But yeah, so these weren't blue ice blobs because they were completely translucent. They were clear like water. So I feel like this alone disqualifies that theory. But on to the next and my personal favorite theory. You know me. Everyone put on your tinfoil hats and buckle in. Tamara.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Crinkle.
Putting on my
crinkle,
hat,
crinkle, crinkle.
Buckling. Okay.
Some residents were definitely getting sinister vibes about the whole thing.
Love you.
Especially with all the people getting sick and after seemingly being exposed to these blobs. And some residents even recall that in the few months prior to the blobs making their grand appearance, they noted several black helicopters doing flyovers in the area.
Dun, dun, dun.
Almost daily. And it really weirded some people out enough that they even filmed it as proof. It's on camera. You can't lie to us anymore.
They're just helicopters.
In 1997, they're black helicopters, and why all of a sudden are they flying over this tiny little town that doesn't matter? Sorry, everyone from Oakville.
Black?
I don't know. I'm not a helicopter scientist, okay? But whatever. In 1997, so 3 years after the, I'm going to say outbreak. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
The outbreak of the blobs. A local woman was at her job at like a diner or something, some kind of like restaurant. And she remembers a group of strangers come in and they start asking her about the blobs and the black aircraft flying over. You know, like, what have you heard? What have you seen? Have you seen those helicopters flying over? And, you know, in a town of 740 people, they tend to pay close attention to strangers that they don't know. And one customer actually got such weird vibes from these dudes that they went outside and got their plate number from their vehicle. When they ran the plates, they found that they were registered to the Military Intelligence Department at Fort Hood in Texas. I'm pretty sure that's the same fort that Vanessa Guillen went missing from and then found murdered. Curiouser and curiouser, I wrote. So, what on earth could the military possibly do with blobs? Who cares about the blobs? Well, according to Mike McDowell, the G, although he never got a chance to do more thorough testing on this theory, he said the blobs could potentially have been used as a carrier system. Almost like an envelope to easily transport germs or bacteria. And it's not like this was the first time the military has ever experimented on its U.S. citizens. It's been documented that they've been doing it since the 50s. Oh, we've reached my favorite part. The government is trying to kill us.
Yeah.
For example, Operation Sea Spray.
Oh.
The U.S. Navy wanted to see how susceptible a major city could be in the event of biological warfare. So in September of 1950, a naval ship off the coast of San Francisco used giant hoses to spray a cloud of bacteria into the air, and then they would monitor how it spread through the population. They had selected 2 strains of bacteria that were initially thought to be harmless to humans, and it's estimated that all of the city's 800,000 residents inhaled millions of the bacteria over the next few weeks, as they went about their daily lives none the wiser. Unfortunately, several citizens ended up having to be hospitalized after they all contracted a very, very rare, very serious urinary tract infection. And although later...
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, and God. It wasn't just one. It was several people. A very rare UTI. And although later court proceedings would, of course, side with the military, stating there wasn't enough evidence to connect the experiments with the illnesses, it was still such an astonishing outbreak that doctors from Stanford actually
did it, though.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Doctors from Stanford wrote papers about it for the medical journal because this was like unprecedented. I wonder where it came from. So, with this in mind, it's not a far jump to think that our government might have something to do with the blobs. Like, think that. Think fucking, what's the other one? The other big one. MK50 or whatever the fuck.
MK Ultra.
MK, what's the 50?
Michelob Ultra.
It's got no carbs or something. Put a lime in it, it's great. But coming to the conclusion of my story, we may never actually know what the blobs were or where they came from. It hasn't rained blobs since, and Mike McDowell never got to finish testing the blobs.
Because he was
Yes, that's
murdered.
right. Do you want to know why, Tamara? The samples went missing. He went into work one day, and they were gone. He said in the decades he's worked for the public health department, never once had he ever misplaced a sample. And yet, there it was, gone, poof. And when he asked his supervisor about the sample, they told him not to ask any questions. And after talking to the receptionist at the front desk, she told him that men in black suits came to take the samples. Perhaps the same men that came into that diner that day. So,
the Men in Black.
With that bombshell, we're left with a mystery, one that may never be solved.
Wow.
That's my story about the blobs.
I think it's from pollution, and the government is trying to cover up how bad the pollution was.
Somebody on Reddit said, I think it's the stuff on the inside of diapers. And I was like, no, sir. I mean, I've never seen the blobs, but like, how would that work? Is there just like a blimp up there dropping diaper goop?
I'm picturing that it's like a little gray because it was like it fell in the grass.
No, it's clear. It's totally translucent.
It's like dirty in my mind. Also, have you ever seen those? They're like jellyfish, but they're like completely clear blobs.
Probably.
They don't sting or anything. The blue ones. They're always dead. Yeah, don't touch the blue ones. Those are man o' war. They will hurt you even if they're dead.
The Tyler, when we first moved to Florida, he would just like run on the beach and step on him and pop them like little bubble gums.
Oh God.
Yeah. Not smart, Tyler. Don't do that.
But like in the ocean all the time, you find like just clear jelly.
Yeah, that's fucking gross. So like, I mean, like it could be the water spout, but like the thing that gets me with that is like it happened 6 times over a 3-week period. There's no way that stuff's still floating up in the fucking clouds for that long.
No, but there could have been like
several water spouts.
No, not even a water spout, just like precipitation. Like,
yeah, but jellyfish don't float. How do they get up there?
I don't know.
The Lord knows all.
No, I think that it's just bacteria because
it could be mold. Like,
yeah,
you know, like when you have like funky shit in your fridge and you get that weird gloopy shit at the bottom where the water tray is.
Or like even just like when you have like red tide, like something was going on at the time. That's
my period, and we don't talk about it on the pod. Yeah. I'm just kidding. We talk about it like way too much on the podcast.
Like, you know, something was going on with the water, and it could have been, you know, from pollution or some fucking government testing or whatever.
It's the Roundup.
Roundup? Like,
like
runoff?
The weedicide? Yeah, that's what it is.
Weedicide.
It's weed spermicidal.
Yeah.
Kills the weed sperm.
Weedicide. What is it called?
Weedicide.
Planticide?
No. Weedicide.
No.
I'm gonna look it up.
God damn it. Herbicide. That's what it's called.
Herbicide?
Herbicide.
Weedicide. That's a word. I know it.
Yeah, word you made up.
There is no such thing as weedicide.
I know.
It's a made-up term. The correct term for products that control weeds is herbicide. Well, you're very rude, Cora. I'm not the only person that's Googled that.
I am incredibly smart, though. That's all that shows. I might as well have
look at you. Maybe you should solve
degree.
The blob problem.
I did, okay?
You have a college degree.
It's humans, and we are ruining the world.
Everything. This light is too saucy, and it's making me a little dangerous to be around right now. My ferocity might come out.
Yeah, you did have red wine.
Okay, we should probably end this. How do we end this? Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Fearful Friends Podcast. And sorry, we're just gonna do this. We're just gonna talk over each other. and send your stories to fearfulfriendspodcast@gmail.com.
Bye, friends.
Bye.